Are you guys ready for the most side-splitting, action-packed action ever? Seriously? You ready for this shit? Welcome back, guys! We're gonna jump right back into Smash 100 Windows 95 games. If you guys don't remember, that's where the Abomination Walnuts came from, and I don't hopefully have to remind you guys of that one. So, we're gonna start off here with this folder that was aptly named Gigolo 13. I really had to stop at this one because I thought it was a sex game. I was severely disappointed just to find out that it was actually only a Jigsaw game that sounded like it was named by Wayne and Garth. I can hear Garth naming that folder being like, I'm gonna call it Gigolo 13. At least it wasn't Juggalo 13. Yeah, am I right? Anyway, ain't no one want to deal with that shit. Oh, jeez. Okay, so, oh, look at that. It's a Jigsaw game with a pinch of education. Alright, that's what got me into gaming. 20 to 30% oil in an avocado? I mean, why does Iraq own all that shit when we got millennials eating it on toast? Anyway, moving on from me not having breakfast this morning. God, I'm hungry. So, I actually flitted around with this for a little bit, and I found that this game was just really terrible. And I know it's so easy to kind of like, you know, bash games from the 90s, but dude, this game really marketed itself as like, you know, freeware, but everything had a catch to it. It was either shareware or something like that. I played with the buttons on this game and stuff like that, and there was ways to see the whole puzzle. I couldn't find ways to rotate the pieces or chuck them at my brother and sister like I used to. You know, or there's always that one fantastic person who claims they can actually do the whole puzzle themselves with the pieces upside down because they're some sort of savant. Or maybe I saw that in an episode of Boy Meets World. I don't know. Either way, it actually gave me some trouble. When I was trying to quit this game, it would not leave my system. I'm quitting this game. It won't let me quit. I hit so many different times to exit. No, and it won't leave. It was actually so bad, I actually had to go into the task manager and kill it. Yes, sweet, sweet victory after I did that. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't want to. Still doesn't want to. I had to find the scheduled task. There we go. Oh, yes, nice system crash. That's great, it's great. Anyway, so moving on. What are we going to do next? First thing we're going to do is attack this game that I used to play all the time that I really got annoyed with because this game used to have a lockout. After 10 times you played this game, you couldn't play it again. It's called Pennies Arcade. As you can see, look at this. I really want you to stare at this thing. I mean, this thing has made it seem like there's like the greatest thing in the world, and it's just like the shittiest game ever. Someone made this with Microsoft Paint. Everything's going at berserk levels. I couldn't even full screen this thing, though it might be due to the fact that it was emulated. I don't know. I actually was kind of disappointed in that because I wanted to be able to kind of like, you know, be able to take a shot. The first thing you notice about this game, but even before I get into it, is that there's no crosshairs with this game. You pretty much have to guess the whole time, and I don't know why they decided to have that, you know, pop gun actually follow you around. I had to look up the company though because I wanted to know if some of these companies were still around. Looked up Sterling Energy. Yeah, it sounds like they make some sort of like you know, futuristic toilets or something like that. But what I stumbled across was actually like the install shield. So that's irrelevant. I kind of quickly backed out of that. Anyway, let's jump back into Pennies Arcade. So, I don't know what it is, but these games really tried to get you to buy their shareware by like sending them money in the mail back in the day. Was that a common thing? I don't know if anyone actually did that. I feel like the only person who actually played for a subscription back in the day was my friend who played City of Heroes, and that was like really ahead of its time. So, I don't know. Anyway, I tried popping the gun a few times here to see what I could do, and it's very limited. You kill men after a certain amount of shots, which of course are not marked anywhere in the game. It just quits on you, no matter how many times I did this. However, due to the terrible nature of my emulation, I don't think it actually dealt any change to the number of times I could use this. So there was a trade-off. I didn't get my score in the end, but I also didn't get that cap of 10 times to use it. I don't remember this game running this fast when I was a kid. I remember things being a lot slower. I mean, look at that duck at the top. How is that possible to even hit that thing? I don't think it is. You can try to shoot the old family truckster, but you got to do it in a number of shots before you're out because the game will crash after a certain amount. let's see what we got here next. First thing I tried was this other game. I don't think I remember it that much. It was called Wind Blocker. I had to actually install it to run it because it couldn't just run. Some of these games had an installation, some of them didn't. I don't think that the company that put this CD together really knew what they were doing. Sometimes there was a run button, sometimes there was an install button, but most of them could be run without being installed. I don't know what this game was supposed to be, so I didn't know what I was doing. I think it was some sort of like reverse Tetris here. But check this out. I want to hear you to hear my reaction when I die here. Like, seriously? What is that? What is that? This is like when someone discovered game making and really didn't understand how things can be annoying. And they just placed stuff in there because they thought it was cool. They figured out how it works. I've been there. I've done it before myself. It's just really... So I had to look this up too as well. This guy looked like he was pretty desperate too. I tried to Google this company, but it turns out they don't exist anymore. Used by a lot of companies for other stuff. Anyway, so moving on, I tried this other simple maze game. Looks like it was used by some kid as their 8th grade project nowadays. I still was having trouble with it because I'm stupid. Anyway, I actually got to the end after backtracking a little bit. Got this error. Awesome. Next up is Crazy Gravity. Crazy Gravity I actually remember playing quite a bit because it had very little restrictions. You could only play the first 5 levels, but there was no limit to the amount of times you could do it. I had to kind of do some looking into like the readme guides in here because I was kind of curious what was in here. And there was nothing really interesting in there, but I noticed that there's this weird reference in here to, was it Parallax Scroll? What is Parallax Scrolling? That sounds like a time-based movie on time control or something like that. I don't know. So I'd Google it real quick here. And what I found was actually kind of interesting. I discovered some interesting stuff here. This first website was just showing simple websites that use this method. And I found this really cool website about the Goonies. And it may be a bit dated nowadays, but I still think it looks really cool. I didn't go too far into it, but just this first intro here, this first screen that kind of like, shifts with it. And that's, I guess, essentially what the parallax scrolling is. It's just when you have 2 screens, one foreground, one background, and they move at different speeds, and it kind of looks like a 3D effect. So, anyway, I was kind of like just doing some brief Googling on it here, and they explain it right here. So, it's something that's easily achieved nowadays, but I guess back then was a big deal. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a look. Let's see this guy. He's all over this documentation here. Axel Miller, I'm not even going to try to say it, but I'm pretty sure some German. He doesn't exist anymore, or it is listed only because he put himself in the credits, in the readmes, everything for this game. Anyway, so I couldn't get into this game because it gave me an error. It says that I have negative space on drive C. Apparently I had too much for it to recognize. Good job, Max, or whatever your name was. Yeah, did not plan that one out. God. So, you start it right up, and it's a pretty simple game here, right? You just use the control keys, you push up for thrusting up and thrust up, and then left, right for changing the direction of the actual spacecraft. And your job is basically just to pick up a package and then put it back where you start. So you have to do a lot of backtracking and stuff like that, but you got to kind of find a certain way. You'll see here. The point of this game that makes it hard is that you are dealing with gravity most of the time, and you have to fight up against it. So you have to constantly kind of keep your ship pointed upwards to fight against this small gravity. And yep, there I go. Blew up again. Anyway, so what you can do, and what I was trying to do there was trying to get some oil. Oil. That's right. I wish I had some avocados right now, but I didn't. Anyway, when you run out of fuel, which is that top right portion there, it'll show you how much you have left. You can actually land here, pick up a barrel of oil, and it'll fill you back up. I'm not sure exactly how much. I didn't play it that much longer, but you get the point. Anyway, what you see right here is actually the package that you have to pick up on each level. And I think that varies on which level you're on. When you're on the hard levels or the easy levels, the first level only has one package. And as you can see, I'm a successful UPS space driver. Anyway, I'm going back to the second package now, and as you can tell, it's pretty simple here. The only thing you have to look out for is all the different little obstacles in your way, like shooting balls and stuff like that. But all in all, it's a more polished game than most of the things that were in this stupid pack of 100 freeware games. But it was fun for the time being. Anyway, That's about it what I had today. I don't really have anything else. Nothing too crazy, nothing too funny. I couldn't think of anything too crazy right now. I guess I should have more caffeine in my system when I do stuff like this, but I did want to do something original for the first time in a really long time, and I had some success with the first one, though I will admit I was probably in a better mood at that time. So without further ado, I just give you a screenshot of this order form here. You can go ahead and try to send an email or something to them, and let me know what happens. Put it in the comments. Like, comment, and subscribe, if you get this message back from Germany.